We have all seen it, the day which the galaxy stood still, the day which the Republic was no more and the Empire was formed. If there's one complaint I hear more and more, almost by the day, it's that with all the recently added Jedi characters to the Star Wars universe, it seems like the list of Jedi Purge and Order 66 survivors grows by the day. Some even say that it kind of undermines Palpatine's grand plan. What is the point to have this grand plan if there ends up being, well, quite frankly, a lot of survivors? Now, personally, I would have to disagree with this take, and here's why. While doing research for this topic, I stumbled upon this Reddit post. On this Reddit post, it says that there's only 27, that's right, only 27 canon survivors of Order 66 and the Jedi Purge. Now, I can notice some flaws. Some survivors this list missed, like Seer. So let's assume that there's more than just these 27 names listed. Some that were missed on this list, and characters that we have not seen yet. Let us say, just even for the point of this video, let's quadruple the list and give a nice round number of 100, roughly quadruple. Well, Kanan Jarrus said in Rebels that there was 10,000 Jedi Knights during the Clone Wars.
When I was your age, there were around 10,000 Jedi Knights defending the galaxy. Now, we are few.
If 100 Jedi survived, if we represent 100 Jedi out of 10,000 in terms of a percentage, that would mean that just 1% of Jedi survived Order 66 and the Purge. While 99% is not a complete extinction, a genocide that kills 99% of its target is beyond successful. Think of it like this: 9,900 Jedi, the most powerful beings and one of the most powerful organizations in the galaxy that has survived for thousands of years, reduced to at most just 100 individuals. For Palpatine, who viewed the Jedi as his greatest opposition, this went almost as smooth as possible. If we look at the Jedi High Council at the time of the Purge, only 4 members were able to survive: Grandmaster Yoda, Obi-Wan, Coleman, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. In terms of the leadership that was killed, Mace Windu, the second most influential member of the council, was killed. Ki-Adi-Mundi, who to me and many others kind of seemed like the third most influential person, he was killed. And other powerful Jedi that could pose somewhat of a threat, such as Kit Fisto, Plo Koon, and Shakti, all killed. Even those Jedi who were powerful, yet not a part of the council, were killed. Syndralik, the head of security of the temple, and a powerful swordsman, was killed by Anakin. Master Sanube, gone. Jocasta Nu was killed by Vader shortly after. Sure, Palpatine would have wanted Yoda and Obi-Wan gone, as they posed a relatively high threat, and would actually eventually play a vital part in sparking Palpatine's downfall. But as far as the genocide goes, Palpatine was almost as successful as possible. Select other powerful individuals survived, like Coleman, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and some non-council members like Ahsoka and Quinlan Vos. While they did pose some kind of threat, they're more so a thorn in the side than an actual direct threat in a one-on-one sort of confrontation. They're not really at it like a Yoda or Mace Windu level of power. Sure, Palpatine might have wanted them gone, and would allocate some resources to them, such as the Inquisitors, but I believe they pose more of a indirect type of threat, such as helping the rebellion like Ahsoka, perhaps training other Jedi, but didn't pose a threat in a 1 versus 1 style confrontation. Not to mention, some of the survivors of Order 66, they didn't really survive, they were more so selectively chosen. They became Inquisitors, so while they survived the direct purge, they were more like temporarily spared and forced into servitude. For example, the Grand Inquisitor. Did Palpatine maybe wish he was a bit more successful in crushing the Jedi? Well, of course, but he had a near perfect outcome. It would be like winning the lotto for $50 million. Would you have hoped you would have won $60 million instead? Sure, but it really didn't matter to him. Beyond Order 66 and the Fallen Purge, his plan was also a success. He consolidated power, killed democracy, had a perfect scapegoat in the Separatist alliance, shut down his controlled opposition while taking out some influential people, and had a whole army of veteran soldiers under his fist. This is without even mentioning his new servant, Darth Vader. He manipulated and took the Jedi's most prized pupil, the Chosen One, turned Anakin against the Jedi, and had him under his thumb to do his dirty work. It's genius, really. Not only were the Jedi reduced to nothing after the Purge and following the Purge, but Palpatine had almost completely severed contact between them, so they couldn't just reorganize. The Jedi really didn't have much of a way to communicate between one another. There was some semblance of communication years and years after, as we've seen in the Obi-Wan show with Quinlan Vos and his network. But this was years after, and we don't know how extensive this was. If the Jedi were able to keep in contact, they may have been able to reorganize and regroup to be a collective, credible threat. But this did not happen. Year after year, any chance of the Jedi regrouping became less and less, and Palpatine made sure of that. With the Inquisitors and Vader hunting, the number of survivors would have lessened year after year, so in turn, posing less of a threat after each year. I don't mind seeing more Jedi survivors pop up, especially if they're interesting or relevant to the plot, such as Baylan Skoll and Ahsoka. Truthfully, the writers of Star Wars could make dozens of more survivors, and I don't think it would take too much away if it was done properly. I do see the argument that it lessens Luke's story, or Anakin's turn, Luke's death, even Rey defeating Palpatine on Exegol. If there's just dozens of other Jedi or former Jedi around, I agree to a certain extent, but we have to realize that the others did not pose a significant direct threat. So saying that Luke Skywalker is the last hope, or that Rey is the only one who could defeat Palpatine, well, it's kind of true from a certain point of view. So, just to conclude, how successful was Palpatine and his plan? Well, the answer is very. Was it perfect? No. But it was as close as possible. The lowest grade I think you could give it reasonably would be an A-. In the end, what really killed Palpatine was his own ignorance, not really the Jedi. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.